as far as we can see, there were no intention of changing tyres. JJ Leto then sorting his way on the run down towards Indianapolis, past one of the Nissans. Braking then for Indianapolis, locking the front. Yes, what Derek Bell has been describing to us earlier on about the way in which the McLaren's lock wheels being graphically displayed there, depicted for us by JJ under braking for Indianapolis, and Mario Andretti in what is a very filthy car now, going back up the pit lane, having just taken on fuel. So 4 laps, you reckon, Paul, before we have JJ Leto. Paul now come back to his lap chart will tell us how long ago it was that the Harrods car took the lead.
It was just after 3 o'clock in the morning that the Harrods car took the lead, so it had the lead for just under 6 hours, for about 5.5 hours. The Harrods car took the lead. It's an awful long time to lead, but absolutely no use to them now.
The state of readiness, Bob, is not in the pit, around the pit of McLaren number 59, as what was the, and still is in fact on the screen, the leading car in GT2, the Honda number 84, Lausanne, as we'll never see on the replay. But manages to hit nothing, and although it looks dirty and battered and looks lost one of its eyes, it's still there leading the class now, ahead of the Callaway Corvettes.
In comes JJ Leto in the lead McLaren.
Yes, JJ then down the pit.
Everybody back out of the way. It will be Yannick Dalmas to take the car over.
And also, this will mean this stop, of course, that the Harrods car will go back into the lead. So how many laps have we had with JJ in the lead for?
Only 2.
So a brief time in the lead at the moment. Whether there'll be more to come later, we shall, of course, see as the race continues to develop. We're looking back towards, because it was a quite long gap that JJ was able to open up over the Harrods car in those few laps that he had in the lead. But Harry, you're down there?
I am indeed. JJ's out of the car, Yannick Dalmas installing himself. JJ looks, well, warm, but not exactly flustered. He's obviously pretty wound up, and will be making his way into the back of the pits. He's actually monitoring and supervising the pit stop. The fuel's finished. Various screens, mirrors, windows, and what have you.
Just as we carry on, Harry, the Harrods car goes back into the lead, then Justin Bell accelerates past the pits. How far they got with the 59 car?
And the car is on its way.
Slowly Yannick down the pit lane. Remember, yes, JJ was very slow down the pit lane. Slowly too. The new leading car, the old leading car, back in the lead once more as it goes into the Dunlop chicane. So Yannick Dalmas is back out on the track, having taken over from JJ Leto.
JJ, we have been marvelling and wondering at your performance over the last couple of stints. Why, how, over to you.
Just the McLaren car is very good. Nothing else to say, really. I mean, the engine has been working well and the car is well balanced, you know. We changed the setups a little bit when it started to rain yesterday, and we have been staying same all the time, but the car is performing very, very well.
And yourself?
Well, myself, I feel okay at the moment. I had a little nap, you know, before this stint, so I'm feeling okay.
What are the conditions like out there?
It's very slippery because now it starts to dry out a little bit, and you always have to find the wet parts to cool down the tires and try to keep them as cool as possible, you know, otherwise they wear out very quickly.
But you kept the car on the wet, so it's not worth going to intermediates yet?
Not yet. It's a little bit too wet, but it's going to happen soon.
Okay, JJ, you've won the race so far, but we might see you in the car again, so you never know. Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, a very entertaining drive by JJ Leto, and that was Harry Turner, our Jiffy Condoms pit lane reporter. So now, Paul, I suppose what we've got to work out is when these two are going to come together on the same pit strategy, because I seem to remember you saying the only thing you worried about JJ Leto's car was the fact that it wasn't doing quite as many laps as the other McLaren between stops.
Yeah, it's fallen into line again now. It's had a couple of shorter stints. The first part of JJ's stint was shorter, and it had a couple of shorter goes with Sakia, but that last one was about right. So we wait and see. The other thing which is going to happen, of course, is that Mario Andretti is continuing to put in these thunderingly quick laps in the Tourage Porsche number 13, and he's in third place, trying desperately to get back on terms as well. And I just got this horrible, hopeful feeling that at the end of the race we're going to have all three of them landing up coming side by side across the line or something.
And the car's now coming up towards the end of another line. Just towards the Porsche. Sorry, yes, John.
Sorry, Ian, just before we get this change, I think that we're going to get, just as we mentioned that things look to be getting better, Graham Tyler, who's now back out at the chicane, reports that it's starting to rain on that side of the circuit again. So once again, the seesaw weather that we've had is just throwing the dice again, really, for all the drivers and teams.
Well, it means that it solves their problem about whether they should come in and put anything else other than staying on wet, doesn't it? Because
Absolutely.
the decision is made for them, just as they're wondering whether vacillating, whether the weather changes, the weather comes to rain again. But as they come now up towards the Ford chicane to the end of another lap, well, it's pointless to time the gap because they are virtually nose to tail as they accelerate past the pits, and it could happen in almost exactly the same place where JJ Leto took the lead in the number 59 car 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago. So up towards the Dunlop curve, Justice Bell hanging on there in front, Yannick Dalmas closing right up on him. Now Yannick will of course wait his opportunity. He's now become a very professional long distance driver, former very successful single-seater driver, he's right now on the tail of Justin Bell. Won't make a rash move. They've got a whole host of back markers ahead of them as they go down towards the S's. Now that's going to make life rather difficult for... Now, who was the blue flag being given to there? It was almost as if he was going to give it to Justin Bell. Justin sees the Callaway Corvette move out of the way, so the blue flag's being waved again, and in the inside of one of the Marcos is number 71 Marcos. Now they have ahead of them the Ferrari at number 41, and Justin has to correct a slide there as he goes tight on the inside of the Ferrari, accelerating now onto the Mulsanne straight, and it does rather look, doesn't it, as though Yannick will take that car into the lead in exactly the same place as JJ did, Paul.
Yes, bit of an action replay shot that they just played on the video.
Well, Justin's getting the blue flag again. He doesn't need the blue flag. Anyway, of course, he's a Frenchman, isn't he, Yannick Dalmas? So that's probably the reason. Anyway, they're side by side now, coming down towards the first chicane, but chucking in behind, realising that this isn't the moment to pass. Or is he going to have a go? Yes, he's side by side. As they come into the braking area, the car snaked a little bit under braking, but Yannick decides at the last minute, now isn't the moment to do it. And the cameraman decides that's all far too boring. We won't watch that anymore. They're side by side, and it could well be that Yannick Dalmas will have the lead before they get to the... Yes, he has. He's got the lead then. So number 59 back into the lead as they both of them lap again the white Porsche number 78 into the braking area. They'll come in a moment for the second chicane. So Yannick Dalmas has taken that car back into the lead. Paul will now give us the relatively prosaic but nevertheless fascinating statistic about which car will be into the pits next. It'll be Justin Bell, won't it? It will be Justin Bell, that's absolutely right.
Okay, here we go. Car comes to a halt. They're doing the tyres first. Justin out, and he climbs in.
So the lead now is held by number 59 by just over a lap from number 51. Paul has been monitoring the gap between the car in second place, which is the Harrods McLaren, and the Courage Porsche in third place, which is now being whirled around the circuit by brilliant Bob Wallach, the old chap. What was it Mario called him? Papa Wallach. Papa Wallach, right. Well, Papa Wallach in third place. Now, how's he getting on?
It's down to 1 minute 3, 1 minute 4, or at least it was on the end of the last lap. I'm sure by the end of this lap he'll have it down to less than a minute. And then the other thing we need to do is to monitor Bob's lap times to see whether or not the lead is in danger or not. I'm sure I'm not going to be the only one who's monitoring those lap times.
Yeah, well, it's very encouraging to hear when Mario Andretti was talking to Bob just now that he wants to come back if he's invited. Well, I'm sure everybody will want to invite him back, and so it may well be that this isn't the last time we've seen him in a racing car. Let's hope it isn't, but certainly he declared his intention of retiring from IndyCar racing at the end of last year. So anyway, Bob Wallach just undertaking no prisoners as he goes around the outside of one of the slower cars going through the Porsche curves, and really on a charge now, realising just to talk also to Bob Wallach, because Bob Wallach's raced here many times and has not yet achieved a win in 24 races. 24 times he's raced at Le Mans, starting off with, I think it was an Alpine Renault in the 1960s, mainly with Porsches, not always though. And last year with the Toyota that he switched to when Porsche didn't want to know about him, that he would have a chance of winning last year. It wasn't to be then. And here he comes. Paul's got the watch going, and it'll give us a gap between Bob Wallach in third place at the moment and the second place Harrods back McLaren.
It's 46 seconds.
So he's literally slashing into that.
Well, yeah, that was something like 18 seconds on the lap. Now we can start comparing that lap time with the lap time of number 59 car and say that Bob's, provided everything goes well,